Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I want to take a look at two different coolers that come in at two very different price points and ask the question, does twice the price equal twice the performance? Or if you're better off saving your money and buying the cheaper cooler. Now this isn't intended to be a full review, but rather it's an overview and comparison of these two coolers that we have here today. So let's take a look at which coolers we're going to be looking at. First up on this side is the Lifetime 55 quart cooler, and I actually do have a full review of this cooler on my channel, but I wanted to take a second look at it and stack it up against a more expensive cooler and see how it stacks up. This Lifetime is currently $150 at Walmart. This is the version with wheels and a handle to pull it. If you want to get the version without the handle and the wheels, that version is currently $119 or $120 at Walmart. On the other hand, here we have the Rugged Road cooler, and at the time of this video it is $300. Now I mentioned the Lifetime cooler is 55 quarts. Rugged Road does not appear to rate their coolers in the quart capacity, but the best I can tell, this is about a 47 quart cooler. Now because of Rugged Road's design, it does actually have a thinner wall, making the overall cooler smaller for the capacity. So the question is, what does the Rugged Road cooler provide for twice the price? And before we dive into a more detailed comparison, let's just address the big selling point of the Rugged Road cooler. And that is that the Rugged Road has a unique build design that makes it exceptionally light for the size capacity of the cooler. The Rugged Road weighs in at 10.5 pounds on my scales. Meanwhile, the Lifetime cooler on this side with the wheels and handle weighs in just over 28 pounds. That is a huge weight difference. Does that weight difference really come into play? Is it really a factor? Well, I found that just for carrying around an empty cooler, no, it doesn't really make a difference at all, because I can handle a 28-pound cooler on this side. But what I did notice is that when I filled them both up to their capacity of ice, there was a noticeable weight difference that the Rugged Road was much easier to carry. Now remember, it is a smaller cooler, so overall I had less ice and less weight to begin with, but that almost 18-pound difference definitely was noticeable when I went to pick up these two coolers. However, when it comes to build quality, I think the Rugged Road actually suffers from its lightweight design. The Lifetime over here, we have been using the Lifetime for quite a while, and it's been nearly indestructible. I've stood on it, I've sat on it, I've stacked other gear on top of it, and it has held up to all of it. In fact, it's gotten dirty, and my wife has taken it and cleaned it up, and it still is looking great. Meanwhile, the Rugged Road claims that its shell is indestructible, but I actually found that when I knelt on it, I was leaving indents on the top of the cooler from my knees. Now, I've also noticed that having taken the Rugged Road out for just a few trips out, a camping trip, and having it sitting out on my porch for an ice retention test, that it's already starting to discolor. If I'll show you the bottom, you can see this is the original color, and I don't know how well it will show up on camera, but it's a lighter color, and it's already starting to darken and discolor from sitting out in the sun. Now, it's not a huge issue, it doesn't affect the performance, but it just kind of bothers me to have the uneven color, an issue I've never had with the cheaper Lifetime cooler. So let's talk about features for just a moment. Both of these have really great handles. Both have rope handles. The Rugged Road has rope on both ends. The Lifetime here has a rope handle on one end, and then it has the handle for pulling on the other end. If you get the version without wheels, you'd have a rope handle on both ends. Obviously, the wheels and the handle are a key feature of this particular Lifetime. The Rugged Road, on the other hand, its key feature is that it has a transforming lid, I guess you could say. When you open it up, you can actually pull the lid off of the hinges, and on this side, you're gonna get a nice flat surface, except for the knee dents, and you're gonna get some indents here that I guess would be like a fish measuring device. There's no numbers, there's just lines. So, you know, I don't know how useful that would be for measuring fish. But then you can flip it around the other way and you get a little workspace here, maybe cutting board kind of area, and then 4 spots for drinks as well. And you can just slide that right back into the hinges, and it will still close just the same. Now, this, again, you may be able to see that this side is the side that I normally have down. I don't find a lot of use for the drink holders personally, and it is that lighter color that has not faded yet. When it comes to ice retention, both coolers actually performed really well. Recently, I did an ice retention test where I filled both coolers to their max capacity with ice and put both coolers side by side on my front porch for an entire week in the summer heat. Now, the Rugged Road cooler had a small amount of ice left on day number 6 and was completely turned to water by day number 7. The Lifetime cooler on this side actually had a small amount of ice left on day number 7. Now, obviously that's a 1-day difference in ice retention, but keep in mind the Rugged Road cooler is smaller, so it actually started with less ice than the Lifetime did at the start of the test. And I could say that that 1-day difference could easily be attributed to that difference in ice capacity. But really, in my opinion, both coolers performed really well for being out in the heat for a full week in the summer months. So here's my question for you. Do you think $300 for the Rugged Road is worth it, or would you go with the cheaper Lifetime cooler? Personally, the Rugged Road is a fantastic cooler. It's a great little cooler. That lightweight design is super handy, especially if maybe you've got problems lifting, maybe a bad back. Really handy little cooler. For myself, I think I would just spend a little extra money to get the Lifetime version that has the wheels and the handle, and I'm gonna use that to save my back. I'm gonna get a little bit bigger capacity, and I'm gonna save myself $150. Let me know what you think and what you would decide down in the comments. If you're interested in either of these coolers, I will leave links down in the description. So let me know what you think, and until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.